What's good, YouTube? Today I am continuing my journey of reading through all of the volumes of Marvel Rivals, and today I'm finally getting caught up with Volume 8, Season 8, Sins of Alchemist. And, yeah, finally getting caught up. It's been like, I don't know, a few weeks since I've started this. And now we're finally caught up, finally at the last page. And why it took me a minute to get that last page because they locked it behind like a little mini battle pass where you had to like play through a few matches, do this, do that, just get some XP. I was like, ugh, why didn't y'all just why didn't y'all just put this in the battle pass? But I know they always like to like scatter the pages of each volume in different areas and make you earn them somehow. So yeah, today I finally have all the pages and I'm read through it. So let's go. And if you do happen to hear any animals or like outside critters, my window is open and my AC is out. So I do apologize if you do hear them. Birds are chirping right now. But yeah. Anyways, let's get to it. Finally, Volume 8, Season 8, Sins of ALCHEMAX. Oh, wait, spoilers. Anyways, there you go. Page 1, let's do it. Life is crazy. One minute you're riding on the back of a giant dinosaur fighting crime in the Lower East Side. The next you're spiraling solo through some sort of chronal disruption that lands you in the tech outworld of 2099. Good times. Excuse me. For a girl genius like me, getting to see the future should have been a dream come true. But it wasn't the same without Devil by my side. From the day he came through that portal from the prehistoric past, my baby boy and I barely spent a minute apart. And suddenly we had 7.5 decades between us. Golly. I knew I couldn't get back home to my era on my own. So I totally lucked out when Cyclops found me. But then ALCHEMAX showed up to recruit and recruited us. Well, quote unquote, recruited isn't exactly the right word. More like identified our chrono signatures and forcefully took us into custody. Not sure what they did with Psych, but they made me help develop their company's latest initiative, since I was using them just as much as they were using me. Though I figured it all balanced out in the end. They had me working on on something they called the Era of Heroes project. Honestly, I'm still not sure what it's all about. Most of the details are classified above my clearance level, but none of that really mattered to me because I was too busy researching a crystalline byproduct of the time stream entanglement called chronovium. And the variant that Almax had was infused with energy from extra-dimensional source, making it exponentially more powerful. Alchemax said it was powered by the Punch Dimension, a reality filled to the brim with pure concussive force. Only a few people on Earth have ever accessed it. What a load of hooey. I played it off like I believed them, but it didn't take me long to figure out that Cyclops was the source. And guess what? After a few experiments, your girl stabilized energy. So what does a preteen superhero do with a crystal that has the power to literally punch a hole through time and space? She uses it to get herself and her captive mutant friend out of this era so she can be back with her BFF again. That's what. At first, I couldn't get a lock on the locator beacon I put in Dev's collar. It was almost like he was somewhere outside this reality. But then the signal suddenly returned in the Staten Island of my own timeline. Not exactly home sweet home, but close enough. There was just one problem. When I fired up the punch chronovium, it was it had way more kick than I expected. Yet it got me back to the year I came from, and it dragged all Alchemix HQ along with me. Oh, and it may have accidentally triggered a catastrophic time plague that caused the futuristic Nueva York to start replacing modern day Manhattan with one building at a time. Oops. Even though I know devs out there fighting the good fight, I'm staying in here for now, at least until I find a way to correct the mistakes I made. But I'm not giving up. I may not be a time traveling T Rex, but Moon Girl's still as strong as they come, baby. So yeah, in this first page we have Moon Girl narrating everything that's been going down so far. And she's been talking about her time with Double Dinosaur and how they got split apart because all the time stream entanglement stuff and the chronal surge splitting and throwing different characters and heroes throughout the timeline. And now, Double Dinosaur's back in the 2020s and now girls in the 29 and she was like, "Oh, I should be excited about this," but now it's like under good conditions because now she's being held captive by ALCHEMAX basically. Even though she says they quote unquote recruited her, they're basically just slaves. Her and Cyclops are slaves now to ALCHEMAX, and basically being held hostage. But she's like, okay, well, if they're gonna use me, so I could, I'm a super genius. They're using me to develop their devices and their property and whatnot, and their technology. And so I'm gonna use them. I'm gonna try to get back to my timeline. I'm gonna see what I can make and create here, so I can go back to my timeline and also help out Cyclops. And then they showed her this new form of chronovium and this chrono energy called punch chronovium. And they were like, oh well, this is a new form of chronovium. It's barely been accessed by anybody. It's rare. It's this and that. We made it off of this and that. And she was like, okay, yeah, I ain't buying all that bull. She was like, okay, yeah, sure. She tried to play it off because she's like, she knows where it came from. She's like, Cyclops made this with this optic blast. They're using him as a battery, as an energy source to create this new variant of chromium, and it's more powerful than the regular chromium that they have. It's called punch chromium, and we've seen this punch chromium like when you access the battle pass, you can see it at the bottom of the screen, the center of the screen, and they also made it like a little collectible that you can get, I think, in a battle pass or in the challenges that you can get. It's like this like little thing. It's like red that you can see it. And yeah, she's like trying to figure out a way how she can get back to her timeline. And she tried it, but it didn't work correctly because when she used the punch chronovium to try to get back to her timeline, she brought Alchemex's tower and all the soldiers with her by accident. And I'm pretty sure this is basically like saying, oh, season 7 and season 8 is kind of like they're happening at the same time, I guess, in a way. Because we seen like in the season 7, we saw that Alchemex tower like basically materialized out of nowhere. And I'm pretty sure this is where this came from. I'm pretty sure season 7, season 8, they happened at the same time, or around the same time as each other. So yeah, she's trying to figure out a way to get back to her buddy old pal, Double Dinosaur, and also try to free Cyclops in the process, while also not trying to bring Alchemix back to their timeline with her. Because they're up to no good, as we can see right here in this page, right here. Let's read it. Page number 2. Let's go. Adventure Capital. Ladies and gentlemen of the board, I know you all have questions about our recent activity, and I assure you, as Vice President of ALCHEMAX, I have the answers you're looking for. Whether or not I'm able to share them with you is another story altogether. In fact, some are so classified that even I had to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Tyler Stone, sworn to secrecy. Can you imagine? What I can tell you is this: since the mutant nation of Krakoa arrived in our timeline, ALCHEMAX has seen fierce competition from their Hellfire Trading Company in several of our strongest sectors. Where we were once the world's most dominant commercial force, our sales were destabilized thanks to the deals being cut by Emma Frost and her Hellfire Protocol. Just a band of corporate marauders from an outdated bunch of misfits. Nevertheless, their antics caused projected profits for fiscal year 2099 to drop nearly 300%. In a stroke of genius, I decided to beat Krakoa at its own game. If they could come from the past and take over the future, why couldn't we do the same in reverse? All Alchemax would need to do is harness the energy of the time stream entanglement to gain access to other timelines. Then we could colonize any era we desired, just as the East India Company once colonized India. After we established a foothold in each of these new territories across time, we would be able to introduce our revolutionary technologies. The people of those eras would hail us as saviors, unaware that we were stripping them of their resources. Our own scientists were unable to unlock the power necessary to deliver us across the threshold of time itself, so I brought in some outside assistance from two-time lost heroes. The last was a young girl by the name of Lunella Lafayette, however you pronounce it. Despite her age, she was lauded as one of the most brilliant minds of her era. Yet, even with the future of her fingertips, she desired nothing more than to return home. We offered her every tool she could possibly need to open the door back, so that we could follow close behind. The other way was one of Emma Frost's own, a mutant with access to a limitless source of power from another reality. He was the key to power up our Canovium samples to levels that would make our goals unattainable or attainable. Excuse me. And little did Moon Girl realize that the entire time she was searching for a scientific solution to travel back through time, she was experimenting on one of her fellow heroes. Though Miss Lafayette achieved her goal and returned to her native timeline, she felt her experiment had less than satisfactory side effects. In truth, however, the time displacement of ALCHEMAX HU was part of our own plan from the start. And while we all watch the events unfold from here in the safety of our own timeline, we can confidently move forward with the next stage of our expansion plan. As far as I'm concerned, the future of ALCHEMAX is the past. Mm. Excuse me, just one a little bit. So on this page, we have Tyler Stone narrating it. Some people said, "Oh, it's Bastion. Is this character? Is that character?" And now finally get revealed as Tyler Stone. Overall, of ALCHEMAX's situations and deeds and whatnot that they've been doing. And now he's narrating everything that's been going down of how Emma Frost, she's over like the whole finances of Krakoa, I'm guessing, and she stripped ALCHEMAX's and Krakoa's like partnership, I guess. And now they aren't really like doing as good as they used to be. So now Tyler Stone has a plan to invade and colonize Krakoa by using Moon Girl's genius and her abilities to get back to the 2020s timeline, her modern day timeline, her Cyclops' timeline, and invade it. And he talks more about Canovium and how they developed Punch Canovium because of Cyclops, as you can see in the picture right here. And he's like, "Oh, we're using her even though she doesn't know it." And like, no, she does. She definitely knows it. And now she's also using y'all too. So yeah, everyone's using each other and whatnot. And now Tarzan has this big idea to colonize Krakoa and strip them away of their resources and their technology that they need to basically survive. And now he wants to like basically like wage war on them and then act like he's a savior and come save them and offer them resources to help them stabilize themselves after their attack, I guess, after he colonizes them. And yeah, he's like, "Oh well, I'm gonna try to use Moon Girl, I'm gonna use Cyclops, and they're both gonna help me get to the timeline." After she uses the portal back to her main timeline, we're gonna go and follow right behind her and push her out the way and just invade and colonize it as much as we can. Yeah, he's trying to play like the bad guy, or he's trying to play the good guy after playing the bad guy because people doesn't realize, oh, it's him using the attack on us. But yeah, it's like somebody I know in real life. But let's not dwell. Let's not dwell on that. We know who it is. Anyways, yeah, it's page 2. Page number 3. You can actively look at it. Look cool. See what's going on. Hostile takeover. I have learned a great many things since I was removed from my timeline. For instance, when a mutant as powerful as Jean Grey calls for help, there's no doubt that the situation is dire. So when her voice suddenly echoed in my mind, "Sigh, we need you now," I knew that the battle ahead would be fierce. I had no idea, however, that the foes we were destined to face would be familiar ones. I had been on Krakoa testing out cybernetic upgrades made to my armor by Forge. Another character that's not in the game, they talk some Forge. Anyways, will they have Forge sometime soon? Probably not, though. As a part of Emma Frost's Hellfire Protocol, the technology of this futuristic era is centuries behind, or beyond, what I was trained to use, and though I had long been comfortable slaying demons with but a single sword, I was learning that these modern advancements had their advantages as well. Once the telepathic distress call was received, however, my fellow X-Men, Gambit and Magic, boarded the Blackbird, and I followed close behind on gossamer wings of pure psionic energy. Together, we journeyed across time and space from the island of Krakoa to the island of Manhattan. We arrived to find Jean and Rogue already under attack. Instinctively, I dove into the fray, landing with katana drawn. I was shocked to discover that our enemies wore the faces of our closest friends. Rogue, Gambit, Magic, Wolverine, Star-Lord. There they stood, perfect duplicates of some of my most trusted companions. At first, I assumed that they were warriors from another timeline, here to ignite yet another battle. But when I reached out to them with my mind, something was different. I was met with a cold nothingness, as if their identities had been wiped clean. Whoever they were not the heroes I knew. They were foul clones made in the likeness of true heroes, the ultimate act of deception. As the false magic's blade crossed with my own, my telepathy probed her into her brain, ever deeper into her brain. Searching for any clue as to who she might be, a series of images overwhelmed my mind's eye. Brutal experimentation, technology modifications, cold indoctrination, then names that meant nothing to me at the time. Corporate Raiders, Tyler Stone, and ALCHEMAX. Then I saw it. The same logo that adorned the futuristic structure that had appeared in Lower Manhattan was branded in the middle of her pupil. I had become clear. It had become clear to me that these beings were neither human nor mutant. They were living weapons in service to a corrupt corporation and nothing more. Their strange nature made them something more akin to yokai, and there was no one better in reality at taking down their kind than I. My hunt had begun anew, and I had the sense that this was only the beginning of a strange new chapter. So yeah, whoops, in this page right here, we see the original mutants fighting these clones of themselves. And first thing that came to mind, to me, it's kind of spoilers. So if you are a One Piece fan and you're catching up right now and you're nowhere near Egghead, you probably know what that is. Skip ahead. Or if you're just like just starting out One Piece, skip ahead. If you're like a little bit behind, skip ahead. You know what I mean? Spoilers for my new One Piece fans or people who are close to catching up. Skip ahead. So we know in One Piece how in Egghead we seen that the world government made these clones, or not the world government, Vegapunk made these clones for the world government, I believe. And they were clones of the warlords. And we seen that we had a clone of Mihawk, Bo Hancock, Jinbei. Was it somebody else? I think it was just those three. I think it was those three. And they were called Seraphim, right? And this page reminds me so much of Egghead, of how the clones showed up and then the heroes were fighting, their Straw Hats were fighting, and basically dealing with the Seraphim. And I was like, this reminds me so much of One Piece. Shout One Piece. But yeah, back to what I was talking about in this page. Anyways, we see that the heroes, they've been journeying across the time stream around the whole multiverse from Krakoa to Manhattan, trying to see what's going on. And then Jean Grey was calling out to the other mutants, Psylocke, excuse me. She was like, "Oh, I'm getting this call from Jean Grey in my head. I should answer it. Let's go see what's going on with Jean. Let's see if she's okay." And then they come to find out they show up in Manhattan. It's like, "Oh, our friends are here. They're donning some new gear." It's like, "Oh wait, these aren't our friends. Who is this?" Like, "Oh, they're clones. They're not mutants. They're not even other variants of our friends. They're just these robotic soldiers." We got Emma Frost. We got Gambit. We got Wolverine right there. Star Lord. And Magic right there on the right. And now they're trying to take them down and stop them from taking them down. So yeah, that's what happens basically for real. Mutants are back together. We're trying to stop all of this wreckage from ALCHEMAX from breaking out and them being cloned and being made a mockery of and being used by this company. Oh yeah, let's go. Page number 4. Interesting. Return on investment. Ah, Victor, Tarstone said, as he entered the ALCHEMAX VIP suite overlooking the skyline of New York. I trust that my team has provided you a welcome worthy of a king. Doom did not come here to be pampered, Mr. Stone. The Dr. Doom of the year 2099 replied, he came to do business. Right to the point, Stone said. I can appreciate that. And please, you can call me Tyler. and you may call me His Royal Highness Victor Von Doom. And a little long, Soren responded, but after all you've done to help ALCHEMAX, I'll call you whatever you want. After all, we couldn't have possibly cracked the code on Chronovium if you hadn't provided us those samples. Exploiting the mutant's power to infuse the crystals with interdimensional energy was an inspired choice, Doom said. Using those the same crystals in a poorly planned attempt to colonize the past, however, was unwise and certainly not a part of the strategy we discussed. I agree that we may have been a bit ambitious in our own efforts to expand operations across the coronavirus. Stone admitted we didn't anticipate New York's mayor or those heroes to put up such a strong resistance. Heck, even our genetically enhanced enforcers, the corporate raiders, couldn't defeat the same mutants we cloned them from. But though our little timeline merger may have been called off for now, I always say that even a failed experiment still teaches us valuable lessons. Doom would know, Doom replied. He has never failed. I don't know. Of course you haven't, Stone said, D-Rotter. And the latest reports from finance support that claim it's clear you lived up to your end of the deal. So tell me, how were you able to shut down Emma Frost's Hellfire Trading Company so quickly? It was quite simple, really, Doom replied. During Frost's Hellfire Gala, she nearly begged me to siphon off the residual chrono energy from the time entanglement that had been poisoning Krakoa. Little did she realize that I'm saving her nation, or in saving her nation, I would be forcing the living island into a period of healing that would prevent it from generating the miracle medicines produced by its rare flora. Now with Krakoa pharmaceuticals off the market, ALCHEMAX is the only other option, Stone said with a smile. We're making a fortune, and you sure you do not want to be cut in on a percentage? What's for the lesser man? Doom said. Power is what Doom seeks. I don't know, Doom. Asking you shall receive, Stone said. Handing Doom a container inside a crystal of punch chromium glowed a dazzling red. I believe in our partnership has reached its natural conclusion, Doom said as he stood to leave. You sure? Stone asked. We have an open seat on our board of directors, and ALCHEMAX could use a visionary like you. My vision is far too grand for a mere corporation, Tyler. Doom snarled from behind his mask, insulted by the offer. If Doom runs anything, it shall be the coronavirus itself, and all will kneel before him, even you. I don't know, Doom. I don't know. So on this page, we see Doom's 199 and Tyler Stone making a deal, and them like talking about everything that's been going down and how Doom stopped the whole time stream entanglement, chronal energy stuff going down in Krakoa all the way back in season 2, and how that Emma Frost didn't know that him doing that would also put Krakoa in this healing state, this healing process, so it would not create necessary the necessary medicinal properties of the land, such as flora. So it will be leaving Krakoa vulnerable, basically. So that's basically what he said. And so now Todd Stone's ear perspective was like, oh, that's our chance. We don't even have to colonize it. We they're already in a state of panic, basically. We don't even have to invade them. We can just offer them our resources, quote unquote, offer our resources, but at a price. So yeah, now Todd Stone wants to try to make these medicines for Krakoa so he can profit off of them, make money off of them. And he's like talking to Doom's like, man, don't make this bag off of them Krakoa and the mutants. Krakoa. Sure you want to cut from this? He's like, nah, I don't care about no money. I don't care about your money. I want to be a god. I want to be a king to these people. I don't care about no wealth, but lesser man. I don't care about no money, but lesser man. Like, you ain't nothing to me. I don't care about no money. I don't care about your wealth. Get out of my face. That's what he said. And yeah, so Toxone gave him the container of the punch chronovium, as you can see right there. And now Doom is going to use it to his benefit, and I'm guessing go to different timelines. It'll be easier to go to different timelines with it now. And then we see Toxone. He tried to do it, and then he's like, "Oh well, failure is just a lesson in life. It can be a valuable lesson to make improvements." And Doom like, "I'm trying to hear none of that. I ain't never failed in life. What are you talking about?" Everything I've done in life is successful. You a clown. That's what he said. And yeah, deal went down. The punch went over him. Someone kept trying to keep him and Doom's partnership going. Doom was like, "No, I don't need you anymore. I just need this punch over him. You ain't of any use to me anymore. I don't care about your money. I don't care about your resources. You know what I mean? You can do whatever you want now. I don't care about you anymore. I'm gonna become a god to these people. You're just a wealthy man. You ain't nothing to me." But yeah, I'm on page 4. Here we go. Final page. Look who it is. You know who that is. You know who that is. A murder foretold. The in need have fallen. A man's voice said, echoing through the chamber at the heart of an ancient pyramid. Slaughtered in their own temple within the divine space, only Khonshu survives, and the god of the moon is now less sane than ever. That's saying a lot, boss. A young woman replied. Excuse me. Pretty sure the only one more broken than that old bird skull creep is his fist of vengeance. They're both crazy. Indeed, the old gods and those who worship them have failed this world time and time again. A new era has begun, and thus so must our sacred work. Those who are too weak to survive no longer serve a purpose. I must harvest what little faith still powers them and use it to ascend. Once I rise, I shall become a divine gardener, weeding out unworthy deities so that I may restore order to this collapsed timeline at last. That sounds extremely on brand for you, but what about me? You shall be there by my side to clear the path to victory and revel in my glory. And when you're done pruning the pantheons, you will honor your promise, right? Because you know the only reason I agreed to do this in the first place was because you said you'd be able to return my son to normal again. Have I given you reason not to believe my words, child? More times than I can count. Perhaps long ago, but we are on the same side now. You have put your faith in me, and I will repay your devotion thousandfold. The day will come when your child will be in your arms once again. That's the hope, but what happens if you don't live to see the end of the war? I mean, you've heard whispers too, right? You're not only the one who's looking to take down the gods in some people's eyes, that only includes you, big guy. I have seen the prophecies etched on the walls of Clan Akaba, of the hooded man of the outer darkness, of the deities, old and new, who seek to end my age before it ever begins. Let them come for me, as I say, or I'll say. They will fall just as so many others have, if not by my hand, then by those of my loyal horsemen and women, of course. All right, then let's get this ascension over already with already. You bring the divine justice, I'll bring the fireworks. Know who that is too, right there. So yeah, obviously, y'all know who this is. This big apocalypse right there. Big apocalypse right there. Big main villain to the X-Men. You know, guy doesn't die. He comes back every so often. Appears every so often. And now I'm guessing Apocalypse is going to be the main villain of season 9, most likely. And if not, hopefully he's a main character. Or a main character, hopefully he's a playable character. But I'm leaning more towards, so he's probably be a season villain, such as Doctor Doom, such as Null, such as Grandmaster, such as Collector, you know. So he probably won't be playable, at least anytime soon, I believe. So, yeah, Apocalypse, he finally showed up. He fight all of his design. His artwork is clean. Got Khonshu in the back, right there, looming in the back. Him surrounded by his 4 horsemen. That's like his big thing. If you know about Apocalypse, his lore, you know, his horsemen is this thing about how I forgot the exact names for the horsemen. They like all have a duty basically. They have like this name attached to them. The horseman of this, the horseman of that, the horseman of this and that. And yeah, we have Apocalypse and the other person right here. Some bubblegum, which is obviously more than likely Jubilee. And why is she a horseman? I guess we gotta find out why she's helping Apocalypse. We don't usually Jubilee is like she's a hero. She's usually part of the X-Men. And yeah, I just want to figure out why she's helping Apocalypse. And Apocalypse talks to somebody else about why, or about how they're going to have their son in their arms again. I guess somebody's son is like sick or something. I'm not sure who that is. I'm not sure who the other three horsemen is, but I'm pretty sure it's a Jubilee. Don't know who this is. Don't know who this is. Don't know who this is. But I'm guessing we're gonna figure out, you know, who they are in season 9. But yeah, final Apocalypse shows up. His design is fire. Love his design. It's clean. Hopefully he will be playable. But yeah, I'm guessing his whole goal is to take out all the other deities and all the other gods from being his way, and he wants to rule over everything. And yeah, and not just this. Apocalypse is going to be popping back up in season 2 of X-Men '97. So yeah, Apocalypse he's gonna have a run right now. He's gonna be on a run right now. It's gonna be on some Daredevil type stuff when they had Kingpin in season 7, and they had Daredevil and going on at the same time. So yeah, it's basically the same thing. Apocalypse, he wants to wipe out all the other pantheons and the gods for being in his way. He wants to rule over everything, basically be a king and a god to them. And something tells me that him and Doctor Doom might clash because they're basically in the same boat. I want to rule over everybody. I want to rule over this. I want to rule over that. I want to be a king. I want to be a god to these people. I want people to look up to me, and for me to be a ruler over everybody. So yeah, I'm guessing maybe Apocalypse and Doctor Doom might have a little fight, have a little scuffle on one of the pages in season 9. That'd be kind of cool. And most likely, hopefully, the movie might get like Professor X maybe season 9. Won't be playable most likely, but hopefully he'll show up. Hopefully have like an X-Men censored type of thing in season 9. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, X-Men has been, the mutants have been getting like a lot of spotlight in Marvel Rivals a lot. And this season, season 2, what else? Season 1, 2, I guess technically. Uh, season 5. Yeah, mutants have been, and the X-Men have been getting a lot of attention. It's really cool, really cool, really cool. And yeah, hopefully maybe season 9 is also going to be X-Men centered. Kind of cool. Hopefully we'll get more X-Men and more X-Men villains and whatnot in the upcoming seasons. But yeah, that is season 8. Finally caught up. Finally caught up after all the volumes. So yeah, let me know what y'all think of season 8 so far. Let me know how y'all matches have been going. Mine have been up and down. Been annoying somewhat. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about this story of season 8. Let me know how y'all thought about Devil Dinosaur. Let me know what y'all think about Cyclops, them being the playable characters of this season. And yeah, let me know what y'all think about the story so far of Rival Rivals. And I'm debating if I should, because I think I'm only lacking 2 volumes that I haven't read, and that is Path to Doomsday, the Avengers volume, and the Winter Celebration thing. So I might just do those 2 as well and read those. So those are like the only 2 volumes I haven't read so far. But yeah, let me know if you want me to read through those, because I will. Because I'm pretty sure they're gonna also add a Age of Ultron volume to go along with this, and Infinity War and Endgame and Doomsday to this one. So yeah, I might read through those as well if you want me to. But yeah, finally caught up. Can't wait to see what they do with Apocalypse in season 9. Can't wait to see what maps they add. Can't wait to see who the playable characters will be. Hopefully, I might get a Doom versus Apocalypse type thing. Don't know how it will go down. I think pretty sure Doom is stronger than Apocalypse, but Doom or not Doom. Apocalypse doesn't die. He just keeps coming back over and over again. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see what Doctor Doom does with the Punch Carnovium, and see what Apocalypse does with going about taking out the other pantheons and the other deities, and see what Jubilee does and why she's a horseman for Apocalypse. But yeah. Anyways, I'm done chatting. I'm out.